Action. Hello, dear friends, lovely audiences. Welcome to the East-West Show. Jack Chow on the East-West with JNE TV. Once again, it's our weekly update, which means that it is Friday already. Time flies fast.
Very fast. 168 hours from one week to the next.
And with me today, once again, is my good friend, a friend to the community too, Mr. Ken Hemming, a writer and philosopher and a constitutional guy. One word. You're welcome to the show, sir.
I love being here. I love being with your viewers, and this is my honor, highlight of my week.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very good. And for this week, though, what do you have on top of the list?
Well, let me tell you something very emotional that I enjoyed very, very much. 2 nights ago, I spent about 3 hours just staring at my big TV to see all of the preparation for the return of 3 American men that were held in North Korea. And they were released by the North Korean leader earlier in the day. Flew to Anchorage, Alaska,
and then 3 in the morning.
Right, and so midnight here, and I was up. I was watching everything. Jack, I was so proud to be an American. I was so proud to see the president and vice president and their wives be there at Andrews Air Force Base, and then the one plane lands with Pompeo, our Secretary of State. And he had been like up for hours and hours and hours. He came jumping off that airplane full of such energy. I was very proud. Just to remind your viewers, he was the #1 graduate in the U.S. Military Academy and school. Very smart guy. But anyway, then President Trump and Mrs. Trump, they went up the stairs when the plane came in with the 3 in there. They came in on a different plane because the plane had particular medical facilities on it where they could be checked out in their many, many hours of flying to America. And so the president went up there to have some private time with Melania and those people for maybe 15, 20 minutes. Then what was so moving is President Trump and Melania come out and they stand at the side of the top of the stairs. The 3 men then come out, and I'll tell you, they looked awful happy to be on American soil again, even though they hadn't touched it. But and these guys are just waving like this and smiling with energy and appreciation, vitality, and also then what I really like, because I noticed the small things. Okay, the media covered it, never mentioned it. Yeah. But President Trump and Melania let those 3 gentlemen come down first.
That's exactly what I want to point out.
I loved it. Okay, I loved it.
I noticed that detail.
That was, yeah, and that's what a true gentleman, a true leader will do. These people are coming back from 1 to 3 years in a terrible place, North Korea, as a prisoner, you know, they deserved that moment of recognition and appreciation. And then they had some comments down below. Not much. Trump didn't talk a lot. There's not a lot to say. These guys are back. Then they went to a hospital to be checked out. I don't know exactly what the results of that has been yet. But the whole thing about, you know, having this, you know, like the radical media says, oh, it's no big deal. They just let him go. It's a really big deal. And because the last time we had people released, like from Iran, we sent them $1.8 billion, which is insane, okay? And so here, you know, it's all preparation for June 12th in Singapore when they have their summit.
We'll talk about June 12 next segment.
Right.
For this one, we want now that we're on it, we want to go a little deeper into what we see.
Right.
To the eye.
I like it.
I, like you, I pay my attention to lots of details.
Yes, sir. That's why you have the show.
Yes. Thank you very much. And detail number 1 would be the fact that Donald Trump, President of the United States, he is a 72-year-old man.
71 or 2, yes.
Yeah, 71 or 2.
Yeah.
Right? He has passed his 71st birthday, going to 72.
Okay.
Right. So, for an old man, I hate to use the word old man, but look at the age though. He's not a young man for sure. Right. To go there, he got there at 2 o'clock.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
He went through some of the preparation.
Right.
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 And waited for the airplane to arrive. Right. So I say, first I say, so the moment I see the flag, I was almost crying.
I did cry.
Fly high in the dark sky.
Absolutely.
And with a spotlight on it,
Yes.
it shines like a star, like a sun, with the two huge cranes
Yes, sir.
holding it,
Yeah.
all right, poking into the dark sky.
Wasn't it beautiful?
I really, really love the scene. However, that scene is, okay, now that scene's great. It's even greater when the later scenes explains it.
Okay.
You see what I mean? Explains it. Politically, I do not agree 100% with Donald Trump. But as a president of the United States, in this whole category, in this whole area, he did everything to 100% of perfection.
Well, and the thing that's amazing, Jack, which you will agree with, okay, you could say here's what his age is, whatever, but he has energy like I wish I had, I wish you had. He has energy of a 35-year-old.
Yes. Yeah,
he got to bed about 4 or 4:30 in the White House. He had a meeting at 11 o'clock, and then he goes to Indiana for an hour and 20-minute speech that I watched last night, and he was so in his element of joy relating to the people of America.
Yes, you're right.
He's not a politician. He is a citizen.
He's kind of like me in the mind and a body of 35-year-old.
In his energy, see, he doesn't sleep much.
Now,
Yeah.
Okay, now to my take.
Yeah.
Also to the public take. Best he could have done is to be at the airport, waiting by the steps. That's it. And he will I command the arrival of the plane. See the landing? Those guys will
landing.
They walk up to him. That's a beautiful scene already.
Yes, sir.
Do you think so? Do you agree with that?
That's beautiful, but he did
now,
more. Yeah.
Instead, he walked up to the plane, right? He could stop right there by the steps.
And wait for them to come down.
Wait for them to come down.
Right.
And then give them a hand, say, welcome home.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Like that. And he did not stop that at that point. He went up, not only him, with his wife.
Right.
His wife was on high heels.
Right.
All right?
Well, she's fit.
All right. Now, he could have waited by the landing of the steps, let those guys walk out.
Right.
Okay. Thirdly, he went in. Right. Inside, they had a conversation for not that long, not 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes or something.
Well, I'd say 15, but
Yeah, 10, 15
15
whatever,
minutes. Yeah.
Whatever.
Right.
10, 15 minutes for their private
yes.
Personal
time with the President of the United States.
I would say there's nothing secret to talk about.
Oh, it's not that.
Personal greetings.
It's a personal greeting.
Greetings. Your health, how do you feel?
Right.
Your leg pain, feel back pain or something like that? And I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right, Mr. President. And thank you so much, like that kind of thing.
Right.
Okay, now, on way out, well, somebody had a notion already he go first.
Yes, sir.
No, he didn't go first.
I know he didn't.
Let
those
the three
men.
guys go.
Right.
And the three guys,
I love that.
The first guy tend to be a little older.
Yes. And very
50.
animated.
Like 60 something, plus minus.
Yeah,
Right?
probably plus.
Yeah, those two other ones kind of younger.
The one in the middle was kind of subdued, and the one in the back still got his hands up. Yeah.
The one in the back is youngest.
Yeah, right. The youngest one was very subdued.
They kind of line themselves up.
Yeah.
Right. With or without a rehearsal, I don't know.
Right.
But they line them up.
Yeah.
Right. The third guy was kind of
he was doing good.
The second guy was kind of.
He was tired.
He was tired.
He was tired. He was wiped out.
Yeah. I know that he was a little acting different.
Yeah.
He was touched.
Every
single one of the three was touched.
Oh,
okay, now.
You're coming back to freedom.
Okay, that very moment, I told myself, right, this is altogether the explanation why the flag is so big, why the flag is so beautiful,
right? Yeah.
Why the flag is so shiny, why nothing is higher than the flag.
That is so good, Jack.
Night, right?
That is your heart talking.
Yeah, sure. The thing is, if it had been on any other soil,
Yes.
say Germany,
Right, right,
say Russia,
right,
say France,
right.
say anybody else, right? And nobody even would give a word to criticize or to comment if they let the president walk down first.
Yeah, right. No, they wouldn't.
But they do it, they're doing okay.
Right. And I'm telling you, I think some of our past presidents would have gone down first.
No.
He
Yeah.
was very sensitive and very beautiful.
Even the past presidents
Would have gone down.
They would not go up to the stage, to the steps.
And they wouldn't have gone into the plate
They
first.
would not go up the steps.
They'd down there waiting, come
They
to
would
me.
not go inside the cabin.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So he did 3 all the way.
Absolutely.
And yet the most astounding
Class.
part is the one that he let them go first.
Because I was there looking, I go,
Okay, now
that is so beautiful.
Let's meander on
Yeah.
this issue a little bit because
Yeah.
I really find out this is a very meanderable issue.
Absolutely.
Let's chew a little bit.
Right.
Let's
Chew on it,
chew
yeah.
a little more. What do you think? What kind of message that Donald Trump was delivering at that moment?
I think he was delivering a message to North Korea that thank you for releasing him. This gives us a little better chance of having a successful meeting on June 12th. And also, it's a clear message of strength, of peace through strength. Only our strength with his rhetoric allowed this to. 2 or 3 months ago, nobody would have guessed this could happen. I couldn't have, I hope so, but everyone, well, if we have to, you and I talked, if we have to blow them out of the world, okay, we'll do it. Because they can't get the nuclear weapon.
That's right.
Intimidate the world.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's
right.
part of the whole, yeah.
But I can go deeper because I see deeper.
Yes, sir.
Right? That message does not only expresses that we are strong, right? We are right, that we won. No, that's not
there's
not only
no
that.
winner in this.
There are more. What is the more? Using that specific moment, Donald Trump had delivered one message that has the, to my reading, highest impurity. That is that his belief, government, people, who is bigger?
The people.
Who is the boss?
The people.
Right?
That's what many in our government don't understand it anymore.
All right, go. Many officials would not understand that. All right. Other countries, let alone, nobody will even do that.
Right.
The president, he is the sky or whoever.
Yeah.
He is the heaven. Right?
You know,
Oh, thank God we have the heaven coming visitor, coming greeting us.
Right.
That is the excited already.
Yeah.
The exciting moment already, right? So that is just the add up with a message that, well, the unwritten, unspoken word might be, of course, I am the president of the United States. However,
which is big.
My boss is
you, the people.
the people.
That's exactly right.
That is the message that I like.
You know, and then they're talking about, well, maybe he's going to get.
That is why I do not regret that I end up in this country.
That's right.
Which I still enjoy.
We have the leadership that is consistent with the foundation of America now and the liberty of each citizen.
Believe it or not, true or false, that is exactly the moment what we have seen.
I love that.
Right?
Thank you.
And the public eye will see it. All right? Everybody will see it, and everybody who sees it would have to nod. Good.
Yes.
That's convincing.
Right.
That is very convincing. Super convincing.
And the world was watching.
Politically, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, but this sin, at least the message that he delivered, is the issue that I support 120%.
Well, I have his tie on. I am a fan.
All right,
I am a fan.
Okay, let's take one short moment out. We come back, we'll continue from that on, please. Action. Hello, lovely friends, my dear fellow Americans, ladies and gentlemen, my dear audiences, welcome back to the show. Jack Chow on the East West Show with Jin TV. We are talking about our weekly update with my friend Ken Hemming. Mr. Ken Hemming is somebody that I adore, and he is a fighter for justice in my
Absolutely,
eye.
thank you.
He stands tall for what he believes right, and he will never capitulate to anything. Well,
That's true.
If you anything he is told to.
I do not submit.
He is so stubborn, so not-headed, if I could
Dedicated
use that kind of word.
American citizen.
But in a friendly way.
Absolutely. I'm a friendly person.
So
I have no anger in my soul.
Welcome back to the show.
Right. Thank you, Jack.
Okay, now, what else except the three-man? Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
By the way, the three Americans who returned home with the efforts of everybody,
Yes.
the Congress, the president,
Right.
all the administration,
In
so on
South
and so
Korea,
forth. In South Korea,
probably
with
China too.
Yeah, with everybody's efforts combined,
Yeah.
throughout the whole report, throughout the whole thing, nobody even mentioned that they were Korean Americans.
No, I know. I noticed that. You know, that's exactly true. See, like one of them was actually a professor teaching accounting. I'm a CPA over in North Korea. And then when their leader wants to have some pawns to negotiate with, you know, he arrests them on phony charges. And but right, they never said it. They never said they were Koreans.
You recall? Recall we were on several shows talking about being colorblind.
Yes, sir.
It is right to be colorblind.
Absolutely.
To train people to be colorblind.
Right.
And I call using this incident, let's call ethnic blind. How about that?
Perfect.
Right?
Perfect. Right.
They are human being.
Yeah.
Happens to be American citizen, so Americans.
See,
Americans. That's it.
I tell everybody.
I like the way.
Yeah, I'm a uniracist. I only recognize the human race. I do not participate in any subcategories from humanity.
Okay, let's call for an ethic blind.
I love that.
Right?
Exactly right. That's what it should be.
Called universal.
Right. Just the human race. There's one race on planet Earth.
So that is the side order, side issue.
But an important one.
Okay, good. Okay, now what else is on top of your list?
Well, one thing also to highlight that, you know, there's all this talk going around, well, perhaps President Trump will get a Nobel Peace Prize or something. And you know what? I know this president. He doesn't care about prizes. He says, I don't care about prizes. I don't care about that at all. I want peace. That is my prize.
After all,
and he doesn't care about that other
After all, the Peace Award, the prize has lost its meaning.
It's been diminished.
Has lost the meaning already.
Well, Obama got it for doing nothing.
The gold content of that has reduced.
Yeah.
Well, we will probably just let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Who cares?
Don't even touch it.
Right.
Touch it. Who cares?
Right.
Because once
it's diminished in value.
Yeah, you're talking about the virginity of it.
Correct.
Right.
Right. You're right.
You're talking
Good
about
point.
the virginity of it.
Right.
Once it is effed,
it's gone.
Okay, forget the whole thing.
Right.
Like that thing.
Right.
I'm sorry for.
But that's right.
Having to explain to a dummy guy like you.
I'm a dumb.
I'm kidding. Right?
But now, so what do we look forward to now for June 12th, Jack? What do we look forward to? What is the chance of success? And actually, there's no failure because in my book, I always say, as long as there's effort, there's never a failure.
First, my question: why Singapore?
You know, well, one of the reasons that I've heard explained several times is, you know, the airplanes in North Korea's Air Force and whatever aren't really very good, and that's close to North Korea. So they really didn't think it was maybe safe enough to fly much farther away from North Korea. I don't know. Well, that's what they're saying. I don't know how many miles there are between Singapore and North Korea. But I kind of was a fan of the demilitarized zone being the location, but they're smarter than I am, and maybe that's a little bit too touchy of an issue. Singapore is a good, safe city.
For quite a while, they were talking about the demilitarized zone.
Right.
And then they talk about Seoul.
Yeah.
And then they talk about a small village.
Yeah, right. You're right. A small little village
on the southern part, a nameless little village on the southern part whatsoever. All of a sudden, it was a jump, almost a jump from there, from all those choices of options. I mean, choices of places to Singapore.
Yeah, there were 4 or 5 locations under consideration that President Trump mentioned without naming them.
There's a one reading. Of course, there are hundreds of different readings, right?
As many as there are people.
And there's one that caught my eye. I'm going to share with you.
Thank you.
They say the following. Because why Singapore? Because it's easier to walk out, to walk off.
Oh, no, I like that.
To walk away.
Yeah, to walk away. Right. Like I'm always wondering, well, I wonder if they'll be staying in the same hotel, you know, the North Korean and whatever in Trump. But I like that, what you said. Maybe it's a little easier to try to. Now, see, if President Trump walks away because he doesn't think there's a good chance for success, though, he doesn't walk or run right to his airplane and head home. He exits the area and lets it simmer among the North Koreans. Do they want to get back together and try to make progress or not? And so I hope it doesn't happen. I don't think he's going to walk out.
I'm not saying I support that kind of connotation. I just say that that analysis might make some sense.
Yeah,
right?
No, that does
because Trump says to himself that even some time ago that he is ready to walk away at any moment.
Well, you know, I've read his book, The Art of the Deal, many times in negotiations. He wasn't getting what he thought he wanted and that he hoped was fair for both parties, and he just stopped negotiating, and then if they come back, they come back. If not, he looks for another deal.
All right.
That's pretty logical.
So why Singapore, to that question? Probably I would buy the easier access to walk away, that part.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean you walk back to D.C., Washington, D.C., but so I like that.
He can do another visit.
You know, and then what we are learning, Jack, is, you know, North Korea is bragging all the time about their military strength. They got 25 million people. They got 1.4 million in their armed service. And those are the ones that get fed first, although not very well. But it's becoming very obvious that, because Kim said to the South Korean president that, you know, you come there, you're not going to be too impressed with our roads, and, you know, we have problems and issues. See, that they're really in really bad shape. Now, the people have been so brainwashed in North Korea that they look at him as a god, and a god does everything perfect. But yet, it's very dysfunctional economic society. And as we keep putting more...
We understand why not picking North Korea, right? We can understand. What we can understand is that why not a small village, the southern part of it. Okay, now, all of a sudden, you talk about Singapore, among all the different analysis or explanations or guess or speculations, the one that makes sense to me was that, well, Donald Trump is preparing himself for the worst.
Well, you've got to be prepared for the worst. Yeah. Now, and also though, it's a pretty much of a neutral city, and it's rather attractive. You know, they have these weird laws. If you drop your gun, you get a spanking. I mean, things like that. They've got a lot of freaky laws. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't want to subject myself to that. But it's a neutral thing, and it's not far away.
In Singapore, if you speeding,
okay,
you get whipped.
Yeah, they do. They whip you.
Seven times. Big one, big time.
Big ones. That's not funny.
Bang.
It's very
big time. Yeah.
Very rudimentary in class and dignity. But it's a safe city because you do something wrong.
I hope if our president is exempted.
I hope so too. I don't want to see him whipped at an airport. But it's a good city, though. I think it is
a good city.
Yeah. It is neutral.
The other aspect or perspective would be that it is easier to carrier.
What do you mean?
Closer to our carrier.
Oh, I don't know that. Yeah, that's a very nice question because we have several carriers now, 3 or something in the area.
Around the water.
Right.
Around the water,
Right.
over there, right?
Yeah.
So if something happens, it's easier for...
And it does have a major
to-
international airport, being a truly good functional international airport.
So
Air Force One
yes,
and all that
yes,
can land
yes.
there comfortably.
So, so that's why a carrier would be
Now,
second
the
option.
other thing that we didn't talk about is, we don't know if it's 1 day or 2 days. It might be 1 day, without walking out. I mean, they might accomplish something
Oh, it
fast
has
because
to be-
there's so much.
Better be 1 day. Better be 1 day.
Because there's
Of
so
course, the
much.
president are not here, not there to talk about the details.
Well, they're negotiating right now the details of whatever it is.
They're doing the details right now,
Right,
exchanging
back and forth,
bases,
right.
right? And then on that day, June 12th, there's
Yeah.
a moment of saying yes or no.
The
sign it here, okay, shake hands.
The North
pictures.
Koreans they know what they'll accept and what they won't, and Trump knows what he wants and hopes to achieve.
After all, it's simple.
Yes, sir.
They do the nuclear stuff, right, as their bargaining chip for food, for money, for whatsoever,
Well,
for material aid.
and the biggest issue is, will we have our people there
And
to
we have-
specifically observe the tearing down of nuclear facilities?
And we have what you need,
yeah,
right?
we can't live with their promise.
Yeah. And then say a yes, and then here's the schedule, which is the one they're working now.
Yeah.
On day 1, day 2, day 3, what a bomb.
Well, see, we talked about that.
With a bombing list, and then
Yeah.
we witnessed the bombing
Yeah.
of each, call it what, determination?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
Or,
No, you're right. Because see, we talked before. Well, we can't wait 5 months for him to do it.
No.
It's got to start then.
anything could
right
happen
then.
during the 5 months.
Right. So it's got to start then.
With the yes, and then step by step, blow after blow.
Right.
We want to see everything gone. That's it.
Right. We know that the North Korean leader is evil to the soul.
Everything down to the point that all the facilities become rebels,
Right.
and
Well-
then it takes you another 50 years to do it again.
See, what some of the people complain about this summit is that, well, we're giving credibility to North Korea. This man
No,
is.
no.
Well, that's what they're saying.
No, don't
That's what the
worry.
radical left says in America. That they're getting credibility because there they are, right across the table from the president of the United States.
Last
That
Thursday,
is meaningless.
Last Thursday, I had a nice talk with Honorable James Lee, the
Great talent.
presidential consultant
Right.
for both Bush,
Right.
H.W. Bush and H. Bush.
Special fellow.
And H.W. Bush and W. Bush,
Yeah.
41 and 43, very special fellow.
Yeah.
Well, I asked
Very
him the same
talented.
question. He said, well, I want to use a quote from Ronald Reagan. Trust, but verify.
Absolutely. So
Trust-
you have to verify with American people.
Trust, but verify.
Right.
Right. So we use the trust verify policy or principle, which is the only thing that we want to do now. My dear friends, today in the weekly update, as a second subject, we talk about the June 12th meeting, the summit meeting. We call it no summit that shall be higher than that one.
That's right. That's
Between
right.
Kim and Trump.
Yeah.
Let's
Huge.
see what shall happen. We all keep our fingers crossed.
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
Let me get.
Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to the weekly update. Today with me is my good friend, Ken Hemming. Mr. Ken Hemming has been a CPA all his life. He is retired, but he is a good writer too. And his book, Life is Simple, 100 Words to Live By, is my Bible, remains to be my Bible till this day. Right.
Thank you.
In the weekly update, as the third subject, we want to touch a little bit about the Middle East.
A lot, yes.
Middle East a lot. And to our surprise, to everybody's surprise, for the past few years, okay, we seem to be forgotten, we seem to forget, to have forgotten Middle East. Middle East
Yeah.
has been, is it Middle East
A little
has
more
been
low-key.
quieter, or we pay less attention whatsoever. We heard less and less about the Middle East, typically Iran, right?
Right.
Now we learned that they never took a stop. They did something more. They were only about this much towards completion, right? Okay. And now it is time to pay some attention. So now, what do you think? What's your comment about President Donald Trump's walk away from the Iran nuclear deal?
Well, I was hoping for that. I believe that the deal, when it was done, was incredibly foolish, and we sent them $1,800,000,000, for promises to stop developing nuclear weapons, when really their whole purpose on planet Earth is to kill all Jews and to get to America. And after we did pull out of this deal, the next day they're burning flags in their parliament. It's death to Americans, and I think it's an evil. No, the people are fine, and the people are having a very hard life because their economy is not very successful, even with oil. It costs them probably about $55 just to get their own oil out of the ground that they have per barrel. And so if the price of oil is not kind of above that, they're not even bringing in money.
Right now they're talking about $70.
Right, but I mean,
70,
for them to get it to produce the oil is about $55 a barrel. But now I haven't verified that with my old calculation, but that's the word of mouth. Now, why we went into that, it's hard to figure out. I can't figure out what President Obama thought he was doing for America in that deal. I think it was a very anti-American deal. That was number one. It was never a treaty because he knew there weren't votes in Congress to ratify it. And everybody, President Obama was our first black African-American president, and everybody, if you stood up to him and disagreed with what he was doing, they just call you a racist. I've been called a racist 1,000 times, and that's fine. Call me any name. Nothing bothers me. But so they didn't resist it enough. Many of the Democrats did not like the deal. They wouldn't have voted for it.
Was that a lack of supervision?
No, it was lack of courage, a lack of personal courage.
I'm talking about once the deal was signed, though.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be supervision followed.
Well, let me tell you, Jack, you had to give, 2 weeks notice or something like that? You want to go look at a facility? They could move anything in that time. There was no way of verifying what they were doing or not doing.
Our satellite system can
Well, you
verify
can't see underground very well, there were not proper checks and balances. We had to have bodies on the ground, boots on the ground, to be there all the time, verifying that they didn't do it. But plus, if they followed everything they did, see, there was nothing about stopping them from increasing the efficiency of intercontinental ballistic missiles, which can deliver the warhead when they get it. And after 10 years, they were free to develop nuclear weapons. Iran and North Korea can never on planet Earth, I think, be allowed to have nuclear weapons because they have evil in their intentions for use, not for defensive purposes, but for offensive, murderous purposes, in Iran's case against Israel and America. And so, and before that it was North Korea, they want America, okay, they want to blow us up. Well,
and the president of Iran said it clearly they will come back, they are coming back to the purification of uranium.
Right. Well, good.
So, all right.
Good. Let them do it, and we will stop it.
That gives everybody a kind of like a handle of doing what they want to do.
And President Trump tells them, if you restart, and accelerate your program for developing nuclear weapon,
you got to bear the consequences.
There will be consequences that you will not appreciate. There will be action on our part. We are not cowards anymore to just hope and beg that they don't do something. There's only it's strength, peace through strength. And if they violate, which I suspect they probably will, I think there's more of a chance of a military action in Iran than there is right now in North Korea. I hope so,
all right,
but I could be wrong on both parts.
2 nights ago, the Israel attacked Syria. on all the Iran military bases.
Right, right.
Military equipment and warehouse and the missile launchers
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We saw those clips on TV. It's almost kind of like totally wiped out.
Well, they don't know where all the facilities are, but the ones they knew, they attacked pretty strong.
Whatever is seeable.
Right, right.
Whatever is seeable is gone.
They did. Well,
Right.
look, Israel, I think 2.5, 3 million people. It's a tiny little country, incredibly vulnerable, and there's like 130,000 rockets pointed at them from neighbors, okay,
Do
right
you
now.
think Israel is doing this to help us? Or do you think it is between Israel and Iran?
Oh, I think Israel's doing it for survival, to try to stay alive. And of course, now President Trump has let it clearly
Because
known to Netanyahu.
Who fired the first?
Well, I think Israel. No, I think the Iranians.
They say the Iranians
Yeah.
fired the first fire.
Yeah, I believe
And
that's what I.
the
And I know-
Iranians denied that. Say, hey, we never fired.
That's okay. Let them deny. You know, Israel will do preemptive activities if they need to.
But that
defend
kind of
themselves.
argument is not hard for a missile to go from Iran to Israel.
It's close.
To Israel.
Yeah.
It's kind of very visible.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Even from Syria.
That's true.
From a Syria ground to Israel,
Yeah.
it's kind of visible.
Well, see what's
That will
happening.
tell who started the first fire.
What's happened with Iran is now they are spreading their influence militarily and ideologically through other countries like Syria, rather than staying in their own country. So they're trying to get, they want to be the king of the Middle East. They want to have all the power, they want to have all the weapons. And then I just read a list yesterday of the Middle Eastern countries that are so happy and supportive that President Trump pulled out of the Iran deal, that because they're at risk. And so, because here, okay, Germany and the UK and France, oh, we don't like you doing that, we don't want you to do that, and we did it, okay, President Trump did it anyway, and we also, I really think they're not going to be able to maintain that agreement without us in it. It's going to fall apart.
So how much do you want to comment on the Russians' response?
Well, now, of course, Russia's involved with Syria,
Yeah.
and Russia's probably collaborating with Iran too. I don't quite know why.
You bombed Syria, you destroyed the missile launchers and the warehouses of Iran,
Yeah,
and then Russia was there. Russia was supposed to help defend
Yeah.
Syria, Syrian government.
right.
Right. So where did they go?
Well, they didn't. They didn't do that. You know, when we sent X number of missiles over, also, and Russia, said, there would be great consequences if we did anything, aggressive as we did, and they didn't do anything. Now, 2 days ago, I don't know if this is true or not, but they were talking on TV that Putin wants to sit down with Trump, and talk to him. Well, why do we have to be enemies? We don't need to be enemies. We're not trying to change their regime. We hope they get changed and a little bit more freedom for the individuals from within.
Well, if the meeting between Trump and Putin happens, though,
Yeah.
well, that's probably the best we want.
I want it.
Yeah. We'll all want peace, right?
We want
now
coexistence.
We want President Xi Jinping and Trump meet each other.
Right.
We want Trump to meet with Kim, with Moon Jae-in, and
Right.
with
Abe.
With Abe.
Japan.
Abe, he's not on my list. He's a jerk.
Okay, but that's okay.
I dare say that.
He's still got a country.
I know,
Yeah.
but anyway, it's
Yeah.
a different issue. Another day,
Right.
when I have another time, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, now, and the Russia, right? So,
Right.
if this whole movement, for right now, how you want to call it, whatever revolution, what kind of color that will be,
Right.
it will. If it does include the meeting with between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin,
Yeah.
that's good. That's moving all right,
I think it's fine.
right direction.
Yeah, and then they'll go, oh, what's Trump doing? Trying to collaborate with Putin or something? Hey, you have to talk. Without communication, there's really no peace.
There's
no
an
peace.
enemy that stands forever enemy.
Right, that's right.
And no friends.
Look
vice
over the
versa.
last 1,000 years.
Right, good. All right. With my
You're
friend
right.
Ken Hemming, we're doing this weekly update. We're talking right now the subject with Iran and versus the attack of Israel to Syria on the Iran basis. So let's take a moment now. We come back. We pick up something domestic. We have some domestic issues too. Stay with us.
We certainly do.
Hello, my lovely audience, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show, Jack Chow on the East West Show with the G&E TV. In the weekly update, we touch base with you, picking up one domestic issue. Well, that's about California.
Yeah, it is. California, where we are.
California is always in trouble, and everybody comes here to settle for the sun.
That's right.
And the moment
You're
they
good.
started, after they settle, they started calling California names.
That's true.
Swearing.
Right.
All right, good. So what's wrong with California? So about the rooftop deal?
Yeah, here's something
deal?
real important, Jack. Everybody's dream is to own a home, live in a home, have your walls, have your roof, have your home for your family or yourself. And it's a dream. In California right now, the average price of a home is $500,000, and we're the highest in the country. And now in the legislature, they're trying to legislate that new homes to be built must have solar panels on the roof. Well, number one, they're ugly, but ugly's okay. I'm ugly too, okay? So all right, so that's okay. But it adds from $10,000 to $30,000 at the cost per home. Houses are very difficult to afford nowadays for most people. The average wage is $55,000.
This morning I heard the ad say that will you break it down to monthly mortgage, your payment will increase only a little bit, hardly any noticeable.
It's noticeable, Jack. You know?
It is, right?
And yes, it's noticeable.
You're
To
talking
be able
about
to qualify,
not the 10 to 30,000. You're talking about principal plus interest.
principal plus interest, and they say because the solar panels, you will get all your money back plus some if you stay there 25 years. Well, a lot of people, you know, houses turn over every 5 or 6 years in California. People try to move up or move down or move out. And so it's a different deal. You know, no one's sitting there 25 years. Now, those that do are smart, and I love them, okay? I wish I was one of them.
Stay there
Yeah.
for 25 years
Right.
until the money pays back.
But the bottom line is you've always got to qualify for a loan. You need a ratio between your income and the price of the home. And it varies by institutions. Financial institutions, but when you add 30,000, I mean, believe me, you feel it. And so maybe it's 50 or 70 bucks more for your mortgage payment. It's a lot. It's more money, and it's more property taxes too.
Not only it is a lot, it is becoming the last straw that breaks the camel back.
It is, yes.
We're paying super high tax already.
Right.
Right. And on that
Horrible.
we pay tax, gasoline tax money.
Yeah.
Right. And we pay extra registration money.
And property tax also.
Yeah.
Which.
And yesterday we were talking about all kinds of proposals that want money.
That's right. Right.
From taxpayers.
Right.
Right. And once money is given, they're asking you the freedom of squandering the money or allocate the money without having to be voted or tracked.
Right. Right. You're right.
So, that's a problem.
And there's only so many people that are paying big
now
taxes.
You're talking about on top of that, you're putting every house, or you're putting on every house
another burden.
Another burden.
Forced.
And forcefully.
It's just like Obamacare. You have to have insurance.
Like a mandate. You
Right.
must do it.
It's a yeah, right. It's a mandate. You're exactly right. And you know what? It's just not reasonable.
That's unfair.
Yeah.
That's unfair. That's unfair.
Well,
right?
it's what it is. It's un-American. It's dictatorial. It's tyrannical. And I'm all for liberty. That's one of my favorite words, which go all the way back in French history. Liberty of the individual citizen. I can make my decisions for my life better than the government can order me to do. We all believe in that. I might make mistakes because I'm a normal person, but I want the ability to make my own mistakes. Don't force it upon me. So it's really a really big deal because they just keep going for more and more confiscation and redistribution of wealth. So we don't know what will happen, but what's starting to happen in California, that, you know, this is a democratic state to say the least. Republicans are gaining strength.
It's going in a progressive way, right?
Which is,
and now let me show you the list.
Yes,
right?
sir.
For gasoline, we have the summer blend.
Okay.
Right? We're forced to go do the summer blend because our bar is kind of higher.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And for that, we have gasoline tax more, 60 to 70
cents a gallon.
Cents per
it's
gallon.
Huge.
That's huge. And for per car, we have $775 added for registration.
Wow.
All right.
It's huge.
And then with that, you're adding still on top of your mortgage, right? Another 10 to 30,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
So who are we? We're bankers? Are we bankers or what?
We're victims.
Yeah,
we're victims.
Victims.
Yeah, we are victims. That's I don't know whether it's, you know, with this progressive legislature in progressive Democrats, their end goal is socialism. It's not capitalism.
You're right.
The end goal, even Hillary Clinton said, I think I lost some votes because I told them I was a capitalist.
If we really want to touch socialism, though, let's go socialism for universal care. How about that?
Well, it touches everything, okay? Socialism was exactly, they wanted a one-payer healthcare system in America, in the government. And the government
This morning I heard over the news that Donald Trump is pushing for the government negotiation instead of insurance groups.
A big deal
negotiating
right now.
with the big pharma.
For big pharma. To minimize, increase competition and bring down the cost. The cost of these drugs is unbelievable.
Make them negotiate with the government.
Right.
The one negotiator.
Yeah.
They say, now there's this time, you're not talking about one payer. The one payer becomes the one negotiator.
Yeah.
Right? With the one negotiator, negotiating with all the different farmers, the big ones.
Yeah.
Right? The big ones. Do it my way or the hard way.
There's a press conference today at the White House about 11 o'clock our time, California time, where the President Trump will be announcing intentions and maneuvers to try to reduce these pharma costs for pills are unbelievable. Okay, they're just truly incredible. So
they're just asking any money they want to ask because there's no regulation, no standard, no nothing there.
Yeah.
And they say we put up a group for 20 years in research and development. Another 10 years goes on and on and on and on.
And also, I believe, without question, there's collusion among pharmaceutical companies to set prices at a higher level than it need be. Okay, and then there's also more efficient ways to produce the drugs. That's one thing that Trump is.
This whole thing. It looks to me, if somebody calls, I know that Trump did, for the government to negotiate with Big Pharma, I believe they're really, really hitting the nail on the head of the whole industry.
You know, greed,
in the United States,
all greed, Jack.
In the United States, the biggest economy, the biggest money,
the
biggest chunk of money is in the healthcare whole thing of care.
35% of our economy.
Yeah. Right. So now to try to minimize the cost of that whole area, though, and whoever can do it must be our hero. And with the money saved, with the money saved, we don't have to go socialism of doing it.
That's right.
We can do universal care with the money saved already.
Right. And you know, people's incomes are going up now. We're keeping more of our paychecks, okay, and that helps. You know, elevate the possibility for good health care. And then also, if you bring the prices down, I mean, it's a win-win. I mean, a healthy economy with competition in the healthcare industry is very powerful.
In other words, we want to do a no, big no to the rooftop stuff.
Right. Yes,
Right?
I'm a no. 100, yeah.
I'm a no too.
Yeah.
Because
and I hope your whole, the whole community is. I think, you're being forced to pay extra money for things like that. I mean, half the time, they're in the winters and that they're not even functioning.
These years, they tend to love the mandate, the word mandate. Right.
This
everything becomes a mandate, even the water.
This
even
country,
the water usage. Okay, now.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, though, for the environment, right? We force ourselves to go summer blend.
Okay. Yeah.
Summer blend costs more. All right.
Okay.
All right. And for the environment, we were asked to shrink ourselves on water usage.
Okay.
Right. For that, lots of people sacrificed.
Yeah. It is a sacrifice.
Already, right?
Water is pretty basic.
And now they're asking us to do something over the top, roof of my top. And they say, like this morning, I said on the radio, guy said, it is my house. I'm the one to decide what to do.
Yeah.
Why you're telling me what to do with my house?
It will decrease the demand for new houses because people are going to say, I'm not going to do that. I don't need a new house. I'll go buy a used house.
It's looking ugly.
Yeah.
It's looking ugly.
It is pretty ugly, yeah.
Oh, it's looking ugly. So
it is ugly.
That devaluate the housing price.
And then the other thing happening in California right now is they're trying to do laws, whatever the right words are, to make it to eventually have no cars run on gasoline. That it's all alternative
Just
energies.
before we forget.
Yes,
just
sir.
before we forget, for the environment, for species,
Yeah.
right? We gave up a lot. Do you recall the small fish?
Yes.
On the northern part of
Right,
California?
yeah.
The
salamander or something.
The smell fish.
Yeah, right.
Called the smell.
Yeah, okay.
The smell fish.
Yeah.
For that little thing, we gave up about 50% of our water.
Yeah. That's
and then we're
foolish.
shrinking ourselves just for a word of the environment?
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't think so.
yeah. I mean, there are things that are very worthy about protecting in our environment. No question.
Probably with the recalls, with the recalls going on, recalls of the gasoline tax,
Yes, sir.
recalls of
That'll be on the ballot.
Josh Newman himself,
Okay.
right? And probably the law of the rooftop thing can be recalled.
Yes, yeah. Well, and there is a wave of conservatism growing in California. And that's not just among Republican conservatives, but independents are getting very sick of things like particularly sanctuary cities, which is just makes no sense. People are being killed and raped because they let these guys out of prison or they don't get them out of the country. It's a real tragedy. So the politics, I think, is going to change in California. I think there's going to be a very big pushback against the ultra progressiveness of Jerry Brown and his amigos. And so I'm praying for that. I'm hoping for it. I think it'll happen. Mm-hmm. We could end up with a Republican governor.
If you look at the ballot book, so they're asking you for money again.
Oh yeah, right.
Proposition 68,
Okay.
69, 70, 71, 72.
Okay.
5 of them. I mean, they're all asking money or the way of spending money.
Right. Well, and I'd probably vote no on all of them.
The last one
I haven't read them yet.
The last one, which is 72, says that the legislature starts to be effective only after all votes are counted.
Okay.
And verified.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And the other one says, well, do you agree, let it work or let it be effective right away, even on the election day?
Okay. Good point. I don't know. Yeah.
Those are huge points.
Those are huge.
They're
Yeah.
huge points. How do you come to a determination who the winner is without having the votes counted?
And Jack, I think you'll agree with me when I say this. Our greatest problem in our voting, in our election system, is most of the voters don't have any idea what they're voting for or against because they don't study the issues. We have ignorant, I mean, I'm ignorant on a lot of issues, but at least when I vote, I know what I'm doing. It's that is huge.
Mm-hmm. And also they're playing word games
Yeah.
to
Deception.
To make it deceiving.
Right. That's why I said
Deceiving.
deception. You're exactly right.
Deception. All right. My dear friend, lovely audiences, today in the weekly update, I hope time-wise we're doing fine. We're talking about our international issues. We're talking about domestic issues. That concludes our update today, our weekly update. With me, my good friend Ken Hemming. I appreciate a lot. Thank you for coming. And my dear audience, thank you for watching.
And Jack, I love you almost as much as your viewers.
Likewise.
Thank you.